talk on Tuesdays, right about now, with Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch. How are you, Mayor?
Aren't you lucky, Joe?
It's the highlight of my week.
Yeah, I bet. I'm doing fine. It's a glorious morning.
Really is. For mid-August, it could be way worse, so we're fortunate for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking with the tropical storm season heating up now, are there meetings in the city with the emergency management department to plan for such things in the event?
Yeah, my department heads, particularly the key department heads on these issues. Obviously, police, fire, Department of Natural Resources, which is all the trees, of course. Public Works, which includes so much of the infrastructure that gets affected. And then, of course, Ally Sleeman coordinates the shelter portion, the preparation portion. So, yeah, they're in touch on a regular basis. We talk regularly. And, of course, if there's anything coming closer to us, we'll get together again, make sure, we're fully prepared. But we're in good shape as far as equipment goes and the needs that we have to deal with some of these situations. And so the planning is there always. The hope that we don't get anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. Right.
Yeah, the old saying. Absolutely.
Yeah. But I'd encourage folks to sign up for the Quincy alerts notices through the website. Just given what happened in Maui, and there seemed to have been a communications issue there that folks should really be prepared. Yeah.
Yeah. No, agreed. I think that's there's plenty of sources for information, and you're right. If people can get direct alerts on things, if they wish. Obviously, we have the reverse 911 program.
Yep.
If there's something severe, we don't like to use that unless it's important. But in general, people can touch base with the website and certainly sign up for that, which
Sure.
I think is a great thing. Everyone should be on that.
Yep, I've been on it for a couple of years, and it works perfectly. So I'd encourage folks to sign up, and it's free.
Indeed.
What's the seawall situation like right now, Mayor?
Well, we're obviously the newest piece is obviously in good shape. We're happy about that. We're in the 25%, almost 25% design phase, which we got a state grant for the Amana seawall. So we're picking up where we left off down in Adams Shore, House Neck, going further into House Neck along Mandan Ave. There's sections of that seawall that need attention, and so we're going through that process now with an engineering company called Tetra Tech.
Okay, is there additional funding required in order to proceed further with that?
Well, we finish with this phase of the engineering, then we start doing the cost estimates. Mm-hmm. And we will have a community meeting, actually. When you hit 25% design is usually when we'll have a community meeting, community hearing, mm-hmm. and let everybody weigh in and see what the direction we're headed and make sure we're addressing all the issues for that region of our city. So that'll happen probably sometime in early October.
Okay.
And then from there, go to the next phase, the 50% design, and then the cost estimates as well. And then we start really planning and, obviously for the financing, but also there's a lot of permitting required for that as well.
Yep. Speaking of community meetings, is there one coming up soon regarding the new Squantum School?
Yes, we've got, I'm 11 in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's September 14th.
Okay.
It will be at the Squantum School in the gymnasium, and we'll be getting a letter out to the entire Squantum community on that, and also some of those streets in North Quincy that also families attend the Squantum School. Mm-hmm. So, yes, we want to introduce the team, explain the process. There's not going to be any design shown at this meeting. We're just getting into that now. Mm-hmm. But we really want to hear from people on some of the issues they may have. For example, the traffic and drop-off setup that goes around it is some drainage issues around that area. We want to address all those things as part of a new Squantum School. So we certainly will be sending a letter out encouraging people to attend, really, and meet the team, mm-hmm. And then they have questions. If they don't think of it during the meeting, they can also follow up with the members of our team.
Yeah, remember there was a similar process for the Southwest Middle School, and that seemed to go pretty smoothly.
It did, and that was a challenging project because we built a new building right up against the old one.
That's right.
Before taking the old one down, which is also a pretty good feat to take it down without disrupting the new building.
Yep.
So, we've got a great team. We've had a lot of experience. Obviously, Joe, we're on our fourth new school that will be SBA reimbursed, but this will be our technically fifth new school when you add in the Christopher Howard Learning Center, which is nearing its completion on Old Colony Avenue, which is just tremendous. And we use some of the federal ARPA money for the construction of that school as well. So we're always out there chasing the federal and state dollars to assist us with our local projects.
Speaking of schools, it won't be long. Parents will rejoice. Back to school. I think September 6th is first day back here in Quincy.
That's right, and the parents will be joyful. The kids, many of them will be sad. I remember those days.
Me too.
Actually, to some degree, though, you miss your friends and stuff, and it cuts both ways. But
that's true.
Yes, Kevin Mulvey and his team, the superintendent, are well prepared. I know a lot of folks, take time off in the summer, but actually, the superintendent, his team, the principals, they spend a lot of time during the summers preparing for September. You have a lot of new folks that sign up to come into the district. There's always changes. We're trying to juggle, what are the needs are at each building. We have to add some classrooms. A lot of the work that's done in the buildings that you can't do while the kids are there. It happens in the summertime. Make sure that we've got the right staff, numbers-wise, the amount of teachers and paraprofessional secretaries, and on and on and on. So they've done a tremendous job. Again, the superintendent, assistant superintendent, and the team over there preparing for September. We got a great school district, and we've got outstanding teachers and staff that really work so hard for the kids. So it's good stuff.
Will there be any major changes that students or teachers will notice at any of the schools?
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
I know that at North Quincy High School, I think the carpeting was replaced in like 15 classrooms. Some of the part of the new building there had those sliding walls and enclosures that they really never used. So they put more permanent walls up because those start to come apart over time. It's well over 40 years now.
Wow.
So certainly if you're staff in that building, you return to that building, you're going to notice a number of upgrades, which were long overdue. So, and that's true of some of the other buildings too. Probably not as dramatic as that, but there's always improvements that happen to the buildings, whether it's painting or bathrooms here and there renovated, ADA stuff that's done in each of the buildings. Snug Harbor, I know that's had a lot of work done to that over the last couple of years, and we just chip away every year at these. There's some great old buildings, but they need attention.
Sure, yeah. Mayor, can we talk just a little bit about I understand there was a meeting held not too long ago regarding the Welcome Center at the campus of Eastern Nazarene College.
Yeah, it really was an unofficial meeting, Joe. A group of activists in that community asked if I'd meet with them, and I agreed because they were talking about holding some kind of a rally around ENC in opposition to it, and I didn't think that would be helpful at all in the dialogue here. So yes, we did have a meeting at Beechwood. The word got out; it got on social media. So we had several hundred people there at that meeting. We shared the information that we have, again reiterating that the Eastern Nazarene College had responded to an RFP, request for proposal, issued by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the Welcome Center / interim housing for some folks. So unbeknownst to us, CNC did respond to it. They did not inform us of that. I did hear from the Lieutenant Governor very shortly before they opened the center. I had a million questions that they really couldn't answer. So I asked the Lieutenant Governor for the state and ENC combined to hold a meeting for the committee so they could answer questions and concerns or address concerns the community may have. So that has not happened to date. I talked to Governor Healy last Friday, again reiterating that there should be a meeting. She agreed. So I know they're working on getting one of the books, I think in the first week of September.
Okay.
So on it goes.
Okay. Was anybody from ENC at this community meeting?
There was nobody there that addressed the crowd. I think there were some folks there that were listening.
I see.
For sure.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Mayor, since last we talked, I know that the city plans to appeal the latest permit that was issued in favor of a new Long Island Bridge.
Yes, the Chapter 91 permit, which is a major permit, but there are still other permits needed. and I still can't, for the life of me, figure out why the city of Boston would spend $250 million on a bridge for this service if they weren't doing something else with the 200 acres out there. And that's what's been very troubling about this from day one, Joe, is that there was a plan done by a developer that the court would not let us introduce into the process, but we have copies of it. We also know that the city of Boston applied for a opportunity zone under the Trump administration when Congress enacted that recommendation to allow for investment in kind of depressed areas of cities, which would provide investors tax benefits. So why would you designate Long Island an opportunity zone if you weren't going to develop it? So that's really troublesome to me. And I've said from day one that, look, I have no use. They own the island. I have no problem with the use of the island, but I have a problem with how they're accessing the island, because it's only going to be additional burden for traffic for our city. And, you know, we've talked about it a million times, Joe. Cities all across the world use water transportation in a robust way every day, all year long. In fact, the kids at Long Island, if it's unsafe for the addicts, why are we ferrying kids back and forth to Long Island for the summer program? So it just doesn't make sense to me.
This sure is costing the city in legal fees, though, to fight it, is it not?
There's always some legal fees. I mean, actually, the law office is handling the bulk of the work, and then we get expert advice when we need it. But look at, you know, if that bridge gets built and they build on the 200 acres, a lot of people in North Quincy, Wallace, and Squam are not going to be happy. So, you know, I got to battle for my community, just as the state spent a lot of legal fees years ago to sue the state on the Nut Island dumping into Quincy Bay. I mean, there's times when you got to make those decisions for the good and the community and the quality of life of the community. And I know I've heard from some people that they had, you know, just let it go. There'll be the same use. And I point out to them, it's not that simple, because they have designs on other things out there, and that's what's troubling.
Well, it is prime waterfront property for sure.
It sure is.
Yeah. I understand you were out on the links yesterday, Mayor.
Wasn't pretty, Joe. but yes, I golf maybe 3 times a year in charity tournaments, and of course, yesterday was the annual Mayor's Cup Charity Cup here in Quincy at Granite Links, and we raise money that helps us with special events. It helps us with some of the charities in the city that we do. It helps us with some of the contributions to nonprofits. So it's a great day. Everybody had a blast, and we raised some good money. I don't know the final number by now, but it'll be over $100,000, which will go back into our community. So I'm grateful for everybody that attended, and it certainly was a lot better this year, because last year I think the only day during the summer it rained was on the tournament, and it was like a monsoon. So this year was far more pleasant, regardless of my game.
That's great. Who won?
I think it was Dominic Venturelli. I think that might have been his foursome. Dominic works for the IT department of our city.
Oh.
He was up, I don't know, him and another group I think were tied, then they had a card off, so I forget exactly who pulled it out. But
okay.
It was a fun day.
That's good. And the rain held off this year.
My team was in the lower tier in the scoring.
But all for a good cause.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Mayor. Good to talk to you.
Enjoy the glorious day.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.